Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. It really helps me out if you like, comment, subscribe, and if you would consider purchasing from one of my sponsors in the description. Thanks a bunch. Alright everyone, well you got a chance to see the train world version of this in my first look. I got it out as quickly as I could. I think I was the second person on YouTube with a review of one of these things. But now I actually have my Commodore Vanderbilt. And there it is. Let's go ahead and get it out of the package here. Man, I still haven't bothered to look. I guess this is a truck for display, but I can't see that it's a whole lot different. The wheels are different size, but the ones that are on there are also different size. So I don't know. I'll figure it out one of these days. Assume those are probably for display since they may limit the amount of travel of something that's on there. Again, I'll have to actually take a look at the instructions to know where all that goes. All right, let's go ahead and get this out of here. It's feeling kind of floppy in there, so I will put it on the track and we will do a walk around. How about that? All right, something to know about this. Out of the box, it was an utter disaster. It just did not work right. The sounds didn't work right. Nothing was synchronizing. There's just no chuff sound here whatsoever. And then when there was a chuff sound, sort of put out a chuff sound when it felt like it. They weren't synchronized. This thing was a pretty bad mess. So the sounds were all messed up. The capacitor actually didn't work. The capacitor just wouldn't hold up the thing at all. It's like, and the lights wouldn't work. Here we go, no lights are working. I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on with this thing? Do I have another dud BLI locomotive? Like, please no, here we can capacitor test. I did it first. It's chugging down the track, no headlight, and you whack the thing and it stops immediately. So after doing an F8 8 reset, it worked, but it was scary there for a little bit. All right, here's the walk around. Some people are already starting to complain on the internet about, I guess there's some proportion issues with this. It's either too narrow or it's too wide. I don't know. I don't get into that. You know, if you come to my channel, you're not coming for prototypicality. You're coming to have a good time, which is how I treat my locomotives. And it's my guess that nobody's going to be rushing to make a Commodore Vanderbilt anytime soon. So if you want one of these things, this is the one you're going to get. I think some people are saying that the boiler is too narrow and some parts of the front might be too wide. I don't know. Again, it's not a huge concern to me. One thing that's interesting is other Commodore Vanderbilts I've seen have kind of a lighter gray. This one's very dark. It's a gunmetal type of gray, so I'm not entirely sure. One rumor that I've seen is that these waves are different for every model. These waves are exactly the same on both of mine, so I'm not sure that got started, or maybe I just happened to get the two that were exactly the same, but I really highly doubt it. As I noted in my first look, it's kind of featureless, right? But it's supposed to be, I guess, it's supposed to count more on its design for its aesthetics than it is for anything else. And just like on my other one, these are movable, although in the center one you can see the wires coming through, so I'm not sure if you'd ever want to leave the center one open. It's the same on both of mine. You can see the wires to the cab light. And by the way, the cab light didn't even work when I first pulled it out of the box either, so again, that's kind of freaky that they let it go without at least some sort of a test. And these are exactly the same. Again, it has kind of that grainy die cast, but I think it looks all right, certainly from 3 feet. Of course, a big part of the disappointment is the fact that they didn't do any kind of interior paint. None of the dials are painted or anything like that. It's still quirky that they made this in die cast and not brass hybrid, especially given, I think, how much pride a lot of people are going to put in these. Cab figures are installed, so again, it's pretty much exactly the same as my first look. You can see here, both the lights have a nice warm glow to them. I like them. I guess if BLI is doing something right for sure, it's that their lights look like they have a nice warm glow caused by an incandescent bulb, I figure. So yay for that. After I finally got this working, I was able to get the capacitor working, and we can take a look at the coupler, and the capacitor here is pretty much exactly the same as it is in the other one. Gives you around 2 to 3 seconds of motion and sound. At this one I got 3, Then actually the sound reset, but it started with the startup sequence again. Unlike my other one, which kind of kept going, but really, if you're looking at more than a second, you're already in trouble. All right, coupler's slightly high, very slightly high, but I think that fits within sort of the normal bounds of what's considered acceptable. So I think we're good there, and even if you use the small head coupler, I think there'll be enough latitude for those to work. All right, crawl, typical BLI. Not great, not horrible, just BLI. I think that'll be a new category in my videos. It's somewhere between the bottom and the top, just BLI. It's all right. A lot of people are fine with that crawl. I can live with it. Certainly not an ESU crawl, but it will be fine. So there's forward and back, and this is after a break-in, by the way. So that should be good enough for most people, I think. No one seems to complain too much about the crawl, except for people who like ESU decoders. So I figure most of you are probably fine with it. For those of you wondering, the weights on this is the same as my other one. Didn't film it, so I'm just showing my other one here. 26.3 ounces, which translates to a pound and 10 ounces. And for everyone else in the rest of the world, that is 745 grams. Although I think it's a mistake that the capacitor doesn't hold up the light and the smoke unit and anything else that may be damaged from electrical bounce, it does make it easy to test my track continuity. And my track continuity isn't great, but unlike some of the other ones, particularly the Blue Goose, which has just been horrible, this one has good track continuity, and you can tell if it's working or not by whether the light flickers on and off. Unfortunately, there's no light in the rear for me to be able to tilt, so I have to go around and walk backwards, but it looks like we're going to make it all the way around. This bend has been particularly problematic for some locomotives, all of those locomotives from BLI, by the way, and down the stretch it passed kind of another area where BLI locomotives have problems, and I think we are going to make it all the way around. All the way. Yep. Looks good. So they actually have a winner here in terms of being able to stay on my track and not lose electricity. Perfect. If you want to listen to everything else, just go to any other of my BLI Steam videos. All the other sounds are exactly the same, but I'm going to go ahead and do these at different speeds, including pull away, and you can hear the chuff sounds and decide whether these are for you. Okay, as far as consisting options, I had an idea a long time ago when I pre-ordered the Paragon 3 version, and that was to use these 20th Century Limited cars, and I think a lot of people made the decision, but I started collecting these piecemeal as I could go, and I think I got them for a lot less than maybe is kind of the going rate. And anyway, here they are. The one thing about any kind of streamlined locomotive is it just seems sacrilegious to me to run one without a nice observation car, and that is one thing this set definitely provides. One thing for certain though is I have way too many of these, way too many of these for this to pull. As I realized from my pacemaker Hudson, it is not going to pull every single one of these that I have. I think I've got 10, 11, and there's no way. But certainly to start with, everyone who rides on my trains is going to eat. So we have to have the lounge and the kitchen / dining car, without a doubt. And how many more of these sleepers? And that's all I have, are these 3, plus a bunch of sleepers. How many of these is this actually going to be able to pull? That I'm not too sure of. So in a way, I'm kind of second guessing my choice here a little bit, because I would love to see all of these I have in a train because they're so long and they look so nice. But just can't imagine, again, running this without some sort of an observation car. So kind of scratching my head over this one a little bit. Not quite sure what I'm going to do. And the fact that these have a bit of a greenish cast to them, I guess it makes them not quite set up right. But for now, this is the choice I'm going with, and I'm going to have to decide. And if all the other New York Central locomotives I have are straight black, so I'm not entirely sure if the green is going to offset with those very well either. Here is what this consist looks like. There we go. I mean, it's certainly handsome. There's no doubt about that. Ones that I might, if I decide not to do this, the ones that I probably would go with are these gray tone heavyweights that you saw. I like them because the black matches up really well. I don't have that green shade to worry about, but then again, with my other New York Centrals, I've still got to worry about the green anyway. So, but maybe this looks better. It just feels wrong to me to run heavyweights with streamlines, even though streamlines did pull heavyweights. And I'm not quite sure, so a little bit torn there, but this is what those look like all together. And I think the black and dark grays and the silvers offset very, very nicely. Just sort of wish that these weren't heavyweights. One thing about New York Centrals, I can't keep up with all their different styles. So these are made by Walthers, and they're some style. I don't know which one they are, but I think they are about the same as the 20th Century Limiteds in a lot of way, but because they also have a bit of a green cast to the gray. So there's these as a possibility as well. And I do have an observation car, although it's not made by Walthers. But this is certainly a possibility. I've just got to get better trucks for this observation car. And that'll help sort of bring it down so the roof lines match up. Not quite sure. Just wish I understood all the different New York Central color schemes a lot better. And then here's another Walther's color scheme, something or other. I don't know. It does not have the greenish cast to them. But the big problem with these is there's no observation car. That's a big problem with a lot of these. So I had a diesel set pulling these, but now I'm not so sure. They do look good, but I don't think I can run a streamlined locomotive without an observation car. Something just looks really unbalanced to me for doing that, even though the color scheme of these cars match up a little bit better, I think. Out of all the lighter weight smooth sides that I have, I actually like these ones the best, but it seems like they're a commuter set. They have kind of a silver middle, I think just stands out better. It's actually close to the heavyweights in its color scheme. Bolder lettering. I like the way they look the best, but again, no observation car. Blarg. But they line up really well. I actually like these cars a lot, and I have them running behind a Fairbanks Morse set, and I think they look great. I think they look great behind the steam engine, but again, it has that unbalanced look because it just has no observation car. So there we go. You can let me know down in the comments which one you like the best. I don't have green heavyweight NYCs, and I wouldn't run green behind this train anyway, but that may be something you opt for, since I think that might be the most prototypical of all. When I got these out of the box, I definitely wasn't amped that this didn't work right, and I thought I'd have to send this back. And if I was going to send this one back, I was going to send both back because, again, the fan isn't working right in the pacemaker. But, goodness gracious, to Broadway Limited's credit, they actually have 2 locomotives now in my stable, and 4, if you count the PRR S2s, that actually go around my track without having any kind of electrical pickup problems. It's an amazing achievement for Broadway Limited, who have had the worst pickups of any manufacturer that have run on the track, and that's including Tyco and some others. They've done a horrible job with their pickups, and they've actually got steam engines that work here. Now, on the tender, they still do have the Leaf-style axle pickups, which I don't know why they have those, why they couldn't actually have hub pickups. I don't know. It's 2023. Update that technology, for crying out loud. It adds a lot of drag. They're not nearly as consistent. There's a lot of arcing, so you have to clean those things. I'm not sure why they did that. But the fact that it runs all the way around my track without any problems is definitely a miracle, to be sure. As far as the people who complain about the fact that this isn't prototypically wide enough or there's something wrong with it, hey, I feel you, I really do. If I was into that, I'd be complaining about it too. I'm not. As long as it looks pretty much like the thing, I'm going to be happy with it. And these look pretty much like the thing to me, and I'm pretty happy with them. The fact that they run around my track makes me even happier. So, but I get it. I'm just not sure who else is going to make these. So, you'll have to decide, is prototypicality more important to you, or is running these things on your layout and having fun with them more important to you? That's, of course, personal choice. curious to hear what you have to say about it down in the comments. But yeah, I get it. And, I just don't see a lot of people praising Broadway Limited for the Blue Goose and the fact that it seems to be extremely prototypically accurate, even though, of course, it runs like garbage, at least on my track, and I think a lot of other people's tracks, if it wasn't as perfect. But I'd rather have these that weren't as prototypically accurate, but actually did run, because usability is more important to me than anything else. But I'll be kind of honest with you, I think I'll like running these around my track, and I'll certainly run them a lot in the future, but honestly, given the amount of time that we had to wait for these, and a lot of people put in pre-orders for the previous version, and then that got dumped, and then this one came out, I don't know, I'm feeling a little bit let down. I don't know about you. There's just a slight letdown factor. Maybe it's just the amount of time that these things were out there, and we all sort of sat around wishing we could have them. And then when they show up, you're like, is that really worth it? It's kind of weird. I actually sort of like the die-cast decision in that it makes them heavier, makes them durable. But gosh, if you're going to put this much effort into it, why didn't you make these brass hybrid? It's kind of a head-scratcher to me. I'm just not sure what the idea was. Part of me is just curious. I guess I don't have any complaints. I guess it's better than it being plastic in a lot of ways. I think we would have got about the same amount of detail, but we would have lost the weight. But this seems like a model that they should have been so proud of that they would have put out in brass hybrid. So yeah, I don't know about that. My spoke units are still going in these. Of course, the fan is gone and the pacemaker, and I'm just, again, still kind of scratching my head, wondering if I should go ahead and just try to take it apart myself and fix it, which I think will be a relatively easy fix, or if I should just send it back. I'm just tired of having these things go back and then come back again. And yeah, if I can maybe fix that one, I'll just do it myself. It seems like it might be the better option here. Maybe another disappointment is I almost wish they would have waited for Paragon 5 to come out, because we still have to sort of deal with these kind of garbagey sounds from this locomotive. But I'm pretty sure I'll get over all this and I'll feel better about it. Now I'm still like kind of watching this. I'm kind of scratching my chin. Maybe I will switch to those two-tone heavyweights. I don't know. The green is offsetting this kind of weird against the steam engine to me. And plus, if I switch these to diesel, I'll be able to pull all of these, and I've got more than double that amount. So I don't know. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up now, and curious about your thoughts on this. As always, I hope this has helped you. I hope some part of this has helped you. Let me know. I enjoy making these videos. That's why I put them up. And I'm glad that as a side effect, they help others, which also helps me enjoy this as well. Okay, I'll leave it with that. Thanks a bunch for watching. I appreciate it, as usual. Take care, everyone. Happy model railroading. Stay safe out there. Take it easy. Talk to you later. Bye for now.